Imagine being born into complete darkness. The water around you is freezing cold, nearly -1 degree Celsius, just above the point where seawater turns to ice. There's no sunlight, no warmth, no welcoming embrace from a mother. In fact, from the moment you hatch, you are entirely alone. You are a Greenland shark, a ghostly predator of the deep, a creature that lives longer than any other vertebrate on Earth. You might live for 500 years, but those years will be filled with endless struggles, danger, and an eternal battle for survival. You will never know your parents. Greenland sharks do not care for their young. The moment you are born, you are left to fend for yourself. You will be nearly blind. Your eyes will be attacked by parasites that leave you in a constant foggy haze. You will live in complete darkness, thousands of meters below the surface, where food is scarce and predators lurk, and you will have to wait over a century just to grow up. Sounds brutal, right? Yet against all odds, Greenland sharks have survived for millions of years, but their lives are anything but easy. Let's dive into the unbelievable challenges that make being born a Greenland shark one of the toughest fates in the animal kingdom. Most animals get some form of protection from their parents. A lion cub has a mother who fiercely guards it. A baby whale stays by its mother's side for years, learning how to survive. Even other shark species, like the great white, have a head start. Their mothers give birth in safe, warm waters, far from danger. But as a Greenland shark, you get nothing. No protection, no food, no guidance. You begin life as a tiny, helpless pup, less than 40 centimeters, 16 inches long, drifting in the deep, cold Arctic waters. You have no siblings to rely on, no den to hide in, and no parent to show you how to hunt. From the moment you hatch, your only mission is to avoid being eaten. Larger sharks won't hesitate to swallow you whole. Hungry fish lurking in the depths see you as an easy meal. Even other Greenland sharks, including your own mother, wouldn't think twice about devouring you. So how do you survive? You sink deeper into the ocean, away from the more aggressive predators that hunt near the surface. You move slowly, conserving energy in the freezing waters, making yourself harder to detect. You rely on instinct, figuring out what to eat and how to stay alive, all on your own. And you have one more advantage: time. Unlike most sharks that grow quickly, you grow incredibly slowly, just 1 centimeter per year. It will take over a century before you are big enough to defend yourself. Until then, you live in constant fear, always hiding, always surviving. And that's just the beginning of why being a Greenland shark truly sucks. You're a predator, but let's be honest, you're not a very good one. Most sharks, like the great white or tiger shark, rely on speed, agility, and razor-sharp senses to hunt down prey. They ambush, they chase, and they strike with lightning-fast precision. But you're slow, painfully slow. Your top speed? Barely 2 miles per hour. That means even a sea cucumber could outrun you. So how do you survive? Scavenging. Unlike other sharks that actively hunt, you rely on dead animals for food. That means your diet consists of rotting fish floating lifeless in the currents, dead seals that have sunk to the ocean floor, whale carcasses that you stumble upon by pure luck. And here's the thing, you never know when your next meal will come. Because food is so scarce in the deep, you can go months, even years, without eating. To survive, your body slows down your metabolism to an almost zombie-like state. Your heart beats only a few times per minute. Your muscles barely use any energy. And instead of chasing prey, you just drift in the darkness, waiting for something to die. But this strategy comes with its own risks. Sometimes, you're so desperate for food that you accidentally try to eat things you shouldn't, like rocks, garbage, or even submarines. Yes, submarines. Greenland sharks have been found with pieces of metal and plastic in their stomachs, proving that when you're starving, you'll try to eat just about anything. Being living in total darkness for centuries, that's the reality for most Greenland sharks. But it's not just because they live in the deep ocean. It's because almost every single one of them is blind. Why? Because of a parasite called Omatocoida elongata. This tiny, disgusting crustacean attaches itself to your eyeballs and slowly eats away at them over time. Picture that, a creature living on your eyeball, chewing through your cornea, day after day, for decades. Eventually, your vision fades completely, leaving you wandering blindly through the ocean for the rest of your life. And here's the worst part, there's no way to stop it. Every Greenland shark gets infected at some point. Some scientists even believe that these parasites are passed down from generation to generation, meaning you're basically born with the curse of blindness. But somehow you adapt, even without eyesight. You're still a functional predator. Your nose becomes your greatest weapon. Your ultra-sensitive electroreceptors allow you to detect movement in the water. Your ability to sense decaying flesh helps you locate carcasses, even from miles away. So while other sharks rely on their eyes to hunt, you rely on your instincts and senses, proving that even in total darkness, you can still be one of the Arctic's top predators. Just because you're slow, blind, and starving doesn't mean you don't have enemies. In fact, the ocean is filled with creatures that would love to take a bite out of you. Orcas that killer whales, fast, intelligent, and known for attacking large sharks like you. Giant squid, massive deep-sea predators that could potentially drag you into the abyss. Larger sharks, even your own species might attack if food is scarce. But your biggest enemy? Other Greenland sharks. Because food is so hard to find, Greenland sharks have been caught attacking, biting, and even eating each other in acts of desperate cannibalism. Scientists have found Greenland sharks with massive bite marks and missing fins, proving that when food is low, you can't even trust your own kind. And if you thought that was bad, here's another nightmare. You might have to fight for food against creatures that are already dead. How? Because the rotting corpses of whales and seals can become battlegrounds. Picture this. You finally stumble upon a giant whale carcass, a rare, once-in-a-lifetime meal. But you're not alone. Dozens of other deep-sea scavengers, like hagfish, sleeper sharks, and crabs, are already feasting on it. You have to fight tooth and fin just to get a bite, and if you're not careful, you might end up being eaten yourself. Survival in the Arctic isn't about being the strongest or fastest. It's about endurance, patience, and the will to outlast everything trying to kill you. If there's one thing that makes the Greenland shark truly legendary, it's its lifespan. Most sharks live for 20 to 30 years. Some, like the great white, might reach 70 years. But you can live for over 500 years. That's half a millennium of drifting through the deep, surviving against impossible odds. To put that into perspective, you were alive before the United States even existed. You were already swimming in Arctic waters when Leonardo da Vinci was painting the Mona Lisa. You might have been born around the same time Christopher Columbus set sail for the Americas. But how? The secret lies in your ultra-slow metabolism. Because of the freezing temperatures, your body ages at a glacial pace. Your organs barely break down over time, and your cells regenerate incredibly slowly. In fact, you don't even reach adulthood until you're 150 years old. That means, by the time a Greenland shark is ready to mate and reproduce, humans would have already lived and died for multiple generations. But there's a dark side to this longevity. You might spend centuries wandering alone, searching for food. You might outlive every single predator you've ever encountered. And when you finally die, your body will sink to the ocean floor, becoming food for the very creatures you once hunted. A 500-year-old warrior, built for endurance, proving that sometimes the slowest survivors are the strongest. So it absolutely sucks to be born as a Greenland shark. You're abandoned at birth. You're one of the slowest sharks in the world. You struggle to find food and go years without eating. You slowly go blind because of parasites. You have to survive centuries of loneliness. And yet, despite all of this, you endure, you adapt, and against all odds, you become one of the longest living vertebrates on Earth. The Greenland shark may live in the harshest conditions imaginable, but it is one of nature's greatest survivors, a living relic of a world long before us, and one that will likely outlive us all. So the next time you hear about the Greenland shark, remember, its life may be tough, but it's also one of the most extraordinary creatures in the ocean. Thank you for watching, and comment on which organism you need next video.